You're listening to Common Sense and Beer, where we talk about the heavy-hitting topics with a beer in hand. I'm your host, Zach.
And I'm the co-host, Kyle.
And today, we thought it'd be fitting, since it's just the start of the new year, second episode in the new year, we thought we might have some fun with making some predictions out there, whether it be political or anything. It's kind of a fun topic, especially.
It's going to get political.
Well,
sure,
yeah, since it's an election year, it'll be a lot of fun to discuss such things, predictions and whatnot.
Yeah, man. So what do you think? I'm thinking, as far as let's start it off prediction wise. Let's just start. What do you think, Trump or Biden?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if anyone wants either one of them in.
You don't think so?
I think there's a lot of people that want them in, but I don't think that the powers that be want either one of them in. Just because you have someone like Joe Biden who just kind of goes up there and mumbles. They're going to want someone, the Democrats are going to want someone that has a stronger stage presence, someone that can kind of push their ideology or their principles a little bit further. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of Republicans out there, especially a lot of the powerful Republicans don't like how against the grain Trump is. I think we can say that confidently. There's a lot of Republicans out there that don't necessarily want Trump because he goes against the grain.
Sure. Yeah, dude. People want the status quo.
Yeah.
Those people are on both sides of the fence.
Yeah. So I don't know. Honestly, I could see. I don't know. There's gonna be a huge show up for both of them, but I could honestly see a Republican or Democratic candidate actually be heading the polls before Trump or Biden, before we get to that that vote, that main vote.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I think based off of years past, I mean, we'll talk about it, I'm sure, the whole stolen election thing, but I think that if there's a good accountability for the voting protocol, which it already kind of sounds like there won't be, but
right. I think it's going to be about the same as last time.
Yeah, but
2020.
I mean, if there were more accountability, I think based off of what I've seen, it kind of looks like Trump would win over Biden. But he, again, you got to throw in those other factors of no accountability at polling stations. So
yeah, but I mean, you said the powers that be. Who do you think the powers that be are?
I mean,
like when you say that, like who are you referencing? I should say, reframe that.
I think that there's a lot of corporations out there. I think there's a lot of people out there that are higher than the presidency, that like people in Congress, big companies.
Have you ever heard of Blackwater?
Yeah, Blackwater. Yeah, Blackwater. There's another big one too. What's the other big one?
You're speaking about like the legitimate fascists.
Yeah, basically.
Like the legitimate fascism that's going on.
I think that there's a lot of people out there that have a lot more power than, say, the presidency holds, and I think that they aren't going to want either one of them in. I don't think, but I mean,
dude, I don't know what they're going to do about Biden, man.
Yeah,
kind of seems like he's all in.
Yeah.
I think their play was Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
Do the Republican swing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they've been running candidates on both sides. The whole uniparty thing, I feel like this.
Oh yeah.
That's what it's been, and they're just okay. They're sick of the Democrat. Let's get a Republican in there.
Right. I think a lot of that. Yeah, that does have to be taken into consideration too, because because we have the two-party system, there does come a time, like in the last couple of years, everyone's sick of inflation and all of that. Maybe a Republican can run it better. But you have someone like Trump up who doesn't have the best reputation for him being the quote unquote least presidential president we've ever had.
Yeah.
That I think that all adds to it. And I think there are going to be a lot of people that crave a Republican candidate just because a Democrat has had so many problems in the last couple of years. And I think that happens a lot of election cycles,
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could argue that with Obama.
Yeah.
I mean, coming
right.
off of the previous presidency, and then you have Obama, you've got...
Yeah, he kind of snuck in there. That was supposed to be Hillary's run.
Yeah.
That was all supposed to be Hillary. He kind of went in and
Yep.
stole the show there.
Yeah,
But,
so I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I don't know. I don't know if it will be a Trump-Biden ticket. I would imagine it will be. And if that's the case, if it's a Trump-Biden ticket, Biden would take it, I think.
you think Biden will take that?
I do.
Really?
I do. Just because the landslide that I thought it was going to be this last time
Yeah.
between Trump and Biden, and it wasn't that way. So again, that's where the accountability in the polling stations comes to play,
Right. Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of horribleness that happened and continues to happen.
Well,
I mean, they come out and say these, like, the machines. I don't have any hard proof of anything happening. I haven't seen, and nor would I really understand the coding, of it all. I wouldn't know what I was looking at, but the just the fact that they came out and were like, these things can't connect to the internet. It's like, well, they have modems in them, so that's absolutely exactly what they can do.
Yeah,
and it's like, what are you doing lying?
Yep.
And the CEO of Dominion saying he's going to make sure, or he made sure that Trump's not going to be able to win the election.
Yeah.
You see like the vote flipping stuff happen, and like some of the irregularities get caught, and then there's just, well, no, it just happened here. But I mean, a local thing, I know that they improved the Trump vote from year 1 to year 2 by like at just an astronomical, like thousands of votes, and it didn't seem to matter. They were still like, they had a by precinct, but it was like 11 or 9 votes or something per precinct that they were short on, and it all these. If you looked at all the races too, they come down to such a weird, like a 49, 50 split, like a weird percentage. Like, it's like there's no way, no shot that every race comes that close.
Yeah.
Every race that matters comes that close.
Right.
It's weird.
Right.
So I just feel like there's a lot of things to question. There's a lot of just red flags, and that's what always kind of made me question it. And kind of delve into some of these programs like the ERIC. I don't know. I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but I mean the organization itself is just something that it's supposed to, it's bipartisan, brings the states in. Basically what it is they pay money to be involved in this, and part of the membership is they bring all their voter data into this big giant pool that, I don't know, like 35 states were part of at some point.
Yep.
So, and essentially like states like Illinois, your driving record and whatever else, you go to you get a license, you get a ID card, or what, any sort of welfare program, any state ran anything that if you get assistance on or involvement in it all, it is you get like put into that pool of like potential voters or something like that. But as it bulks up all these voter pools or voter rolls. And
I think another thing that's going to come into play in the election as well is the flood of immigration going into a lot of these big cities.
Yeah, for sure.
There's already been videos coming out of these people getting IDs and stuff. No one knows how they're getting these IDs, but they're getting them just so they can vote, stuff like that. Yep. I think a lot of that's going to come into play too. And I think, again, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think there's a huge flood on the southern border right now.
Well, there's no conspiracy about that at all.
Yeah. Well, right. There's a flood on it, but I think the reason behind it is a little bit more sinister than people just trying to seek refuge. I think they're encouraging that so that way they can pad up some numbers. Whether it's more towards a Republican candidate or Democrat, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I really do, because there's such a flood right now with illegal immigration, and nobody's nobody's out there saying, hey, this is a major security issue. You know, you've got wars happening in the world, multiple wars happening in the world, and you're telling me that you're telling people to come into, you know, I mean, it just seems asinine to me, especially when we're getting involved in these other wars, and then there's a bunch of illegal immigration coming in. That's a bad idea, and it shouldn't take a brain surgeon to understand why that's a bad idea.
Well, yeah, you bring in a large majority of Muslim population, and then you go around bombing Muslim populations.
Yep.
There was a protest at the White House, and pictured are some of the people, the patches these guys are wearing are a Hamas-linked terrorist group.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're there doing spotting and everything else. So all these pro-Palestinian things where they've been shutting down roads that you barely hear about, I'm curious how much of those are just to see what the reaction is, and they're staging, getting ready for a larger attack, And that's honestly my greatest fear, is that they're going to do some sort of coordinated attack, and it's, is that what's going to either be used to shut down the election, or is that what's going to be used to put us into another lockdown?
Yep.
Because the deep state needs something to do, and they're not in Afghanistan or Iraq anymore. They're here.
Yeah.
And so it's like, when are they going to start thrashing about at us? In a more subliminal way than they have been doing, because doing the investigations on like the parents' school board meetings and Christians and Catholics and whatever else, doing those investigations is one thing. Arresting people, that's pretty crazy for all the January 6th thing. Just people that walked up there and had nothing to do with anything,
Yep.
and just because their cell phone data was like placed them there.
Yep.
They're getting put in the gulag. We have American gulags right now.
Or the amount of FBI agents that were there as well.
Yeah,
stoking
all
it.
of the confirm. Yeah.
Or the fact that they put a commission together and the only images they leaked out were after the riot police were freaking popping tear gas and rubber bullets into an actual peaceful crowd.
Yeah.
Getting them all riled up.
Yep.
And then they only show the aftermath of people reacting, and it's like you were beating people up and getting them all whipped up into shape, and then only taking pictures. That's just, it's leftist it's communist tactics. It's not like it's dumb, but it's certainly evil. I definitely feel like we're going to see a lot of that going into this year, and I feel like it's going to rear its head in a couple different ways. Like I said, is it going to be another COVID?
Right. Yeah, here's the other thing too. You think about 9/11. Everyone says, "Oh, no one's going to be able to infiltrate the U.S. from the inside." Look at 9/11. They infiltrated all of these security processes and they were pilots. I mean, they went through all the security checks and everything. They infiltrated this process that was supposed to be one of the most secure ways to,
Most of those guys were actually trained by the CIA and FBI.
Well,
okay. Well,
let me pump you on the brakes on that one as well. Is that we already flagged those 4 or 5 individuals that flew those planes as soon as they got into the U.S.
Right.
And we chose to do nothing about it.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
That's exactly my point, is people don't want to believe that we can be infiltrated from inside the country, but we've already seen it with that.
Well, how many regiments of the Chinese infantry are here?
Yeah.
Or even the Russians. Like, if you're literally an enemy right now, it'd be so easy to just slowly trickle your troops in and be like, just sit in these spots. We'll organize you guys here, here, and here, and just kind of sit and wait.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's, again, it's really a bad idea. If you were running your own country, I remember, and it was either in middle school or high school, you had the little kind of mock world whatever, and one of the worst things you could probably do is, while other countries are at war and you're providing materials to them or just money, you're going to leave your own borders at risk. It just makes no sense to me. And it, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we enter a war because we get infiltrated from the inside. It doesn't surprise me now. Won't surprise me one bit.
Yeah. Or, well, I mean, we're already in multiple wars, but you mean just as far as the fight will be here.
Right.
It'll be in our face, and there'll be no escaping it.
Yeah.
You'll be going to Walmart in a roadside IED. You'll take out your family, going to get some milk and eggs.
Yep.
That's how it'll start.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. All that. And it's gonna make people worried to leave their houses, which is exactly what a lot of these people want. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, well, what would happen in like another worst? So, the World Economic Forum seems to talk about things, and they kind of seem to happen, almost word for word, style for style. Everything that could have scenario that could have happened. They did COVID.
Yeah.
Called it the SPARS pandemic. There's some other things they've been talking about. One was, a potential where the electric grid basically gets shut down and communications shut down with it.
There's been, not to cut you off.
No,
I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of that actually, where people are talking,
man.
like doomsdayers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about the power grid. They're not talking about nuclear fallout. They're not talking about any of that. They're talking about the power grid being shut down. And honestly, you want to get to most Americans and disarm most Americans, turn their power off.
Yep.
Kids don't know how to create fire anymore. You know?
Yeah, dude. And especially with we've got winter storms going on right now where it's the south is cold, the north
right
is
now,
cold, the east is cold.
What's the high for us today? Right now it's -2 degrees.
I was outside and it was -12 earlier.
Yep.
So tell me whatever degree it is now. I bet you it feels really nice out compared to what it was earlier. But yeah, these temperatures suck. I couldn't imagine, circumstances happen where you do get your heat and whatnot shut off over here. Like if I think a fire happened, kind of shut off some the gas and whatever else for a whole couple blocks, and it's like all those people right now have no heat.
Yep.
And these temperatures, man, there's not much you can do. Pile up with the blankets, maybe build a tent in the living room, and just everybody huddle together.
Yep.
And hope for the best.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you've got a fireplace, that's good, but otherwise, I mean, there's a lot of homes around, well, in our area anyway, that don't really have fireplaces. So
yeah, it's kind of a thing of a lot of the cookie cutter homes like mine don't have that anymore. It's not a thing.
So it's pretty crazy to think that if the power grid goes down, it's crazy to think that how vulnerable we would be, And it's
dude, I think it would, because Black.
Well, how prepared have you made yourself to a power shutdown?
Oh, I mean,
not very, right? I mean, how long can
much
can you last without a freezer or a fridge, Zach? Not long, right?
Without a freezer or a fridge, I mean, in this weather, I could last a while. But
yeah, we'd actually probably be okay on that front.
But no, physical heat though. I mean, you need to provide yourself physical heat. And as far as that's concerned, to be honest with you, I not very long at all. I mean,
unfortunately, I didn't make enough money to start getting very prepared until more recently. But now things are skyrocketing, so now it's kind of balancing out.
Yeah, see, and that's, I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of the pieces that I kind of put together in my head are a lot of coincidences. But I mean, realistically, if the government was sinister enough and they wanted to really do something like this, inflation, make everything almost impossible to afford, to actually help yourself, get out of these situations if they do happen, and then put this situation down and fend for yourself. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a cynical way to look at it, but at the same time, it's possible. And there's a lot of people out there that don't want to talk about those possibilities because they don't want to be seen as a conspiracy theorist or, all that. But
whatever, I'd rather be prepared, even if it's a scenario that's not going to happen. I'd rather have, preparedness, or at least mental preparedness that it could be something that would happen.
What about a zombie apocalypse?
I mean, COVID.
Yeah.
It was kind of a zombie apocalypse.
It made a lot of people.
It would have
zombies.
never happened if people would have just stood up and said no. Like that would have died so fast.
Yeah.
All that nonsense, but no, people turned into straight up zombies. So I'd say that already happened.
Hey Kyle, did you open a new beer?
I did. But I mean, does it count? It's
7
fluid ounces of beer.
It counts. It counts.
You're not gonna hear that, Zach.
Oh, come on.
I'm playing.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, next time we'll open it in front of the mic and make Zach happy.
There you go.
Get him all nice and happy.
So, I definitely think that there's going to be a lot more implications from these wars going on, and I think it's going to be it's going to become increasingly closer to home. I do think that.
Yeah, I think the next thing is a civil conflict of some sort, whether it's, like I said, like some sort of just cell of extremists, making trouble in our streets, or if it's quite literally the left wing, Antifa start going ham again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think the right wing thing I think it'll be a counter attack. The whole, because I don't think the neo-Nazi militias and whatever else, I think they're more on the side of the left anyways. I think they're on the side of Biden. They kind of like the woke stuff because the woke stuff's all segregation, and I kind of think that the neo-Nazis would approve of that message.
Yeah.
Of segregation.
Well, you will get, you will get extremists on the right.
You get some people that start talking, and it's kind of like, well, like I wouldn't. You kind of start feeling uncomfortable around them, and it's like, I don't know, man.
Yep.
I don't know if that's okay.
For Republicans, when was the last time you've actually seen them be aggressive rather than just reactionary?
Trump, man. Matt Gates.
Well, Trump was never really even a Republican.
No, that's what I mean. Ron Paul. All the people that I've liked that have been Republicans were really not actually Republicans.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Vivek. I just don't.
Yeah, he's an interesting one.
Yeah, I just don't think he's the answer right now. I
don't know if he's the answer at all, because he seems to be a guy who just says all the right things at all the right times.
You think so?
Yeah, we kind of just had this conversation. I kind of got that thought too, was a little too good to be true, because everything he says just makes sense. But at the same time, I mean, it very well could be that he's just saying all the right things.
He is really smart.
He's very smart, and he definitely knows what he's doing when he's going up there and talking. But I think it's going to be one of those things where he'll probably realize, if he did get in, he'd probably realize all of the red tape that he has to go through, and he probably wouldn't be able to get that much done that he wants to,
Yeah.
See, he kind of reminds me too of Trump in some ways, where he's going to say what he wants to say. He's not necessarily in your face about it like Trump was, but he's not afraid to shy away from the big stuff,
Right.
So I think that's interesting. And I think, again, once push comes to shove, if he were to get in office, I think it'd be a lot harder for him to be able to deliver on some of those. But then again, I thought that about Trump too. So, and he's, I mean, as far as presidencies since we've been alive, he's been
the best president we've had since I've been alive.
Well, yeah, I mean, he said he did what he said he was going to do. I mean, in my mind,
we had an amazing economy.
Yeah.
COVID came and shattered it, but we were even starting to kind of come out of that pretty good.
Yeah.
Gas was down to like 95 cents a gallon. It was insane. I was
remember,
oh my God, dude.
I've got a picture on my phone that I said, I'm going to save this on my phone and show it to my kids when they're 30 years old.
And gas is $20 a gallon.
Yeah.
Little whippersnappers. When I was...
Yeah. When I was
to school both uphill both ways.
Barefoot. Yeah. So, okay. So we're in the political area right now. What do we think? People are hearing that in the background. Just so everybody knows, we're watching the Packers and Dallas Cowboys game. It's the first game of the playoffs for the Packers. We'll see if they can pull it out, but so if we sound a little distracted, that may be why. But
give them the score right now.
Yeah, right now it is 7-0. Go Pack, go! The Packers are winning. So, and it's 4th down. Packers on defense.
That's your foosball.
Yeah.
He's about to kick it, though. Oh, he's not good. Oh, they're punting.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
So,
well, good for them, man. Hopefully the Pack pull it off.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, okay, so here's an interesting thing. Is it going to get roughing the kicker?
Oh.
Where's the flag?
Oh,
there it goes. All right, back to the podcast. So it's actually interesting, and I've heard this a few times, but there's a guy, I can picture his face, I have no idea what his name is, but he talks about how sports have become such a big thing in the U.S. And it's so funny because he equates it to the Colosseum in Rome.
It is, man.
I mean, it was a distraction for the people.
Yeah.
You know, get everybody obsessed in these world-class athletes, and we can do whatever we want in the background because they're not paying attention to us.
You know, a majority of the like bot style accounts on Twitter have like some sort of sports team in their profile
you were
picture.
saying that, yeah.
And and you know, I actually like some of these people. Like I run out in public sometimes, and the overweight sweatpant wearing person, you know, baggy upper layers, whatever it may be, but like ratty sweatpants. I'm talking stained.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Full on neck beard plus whatever other facial hair.
Yeah.
You know, balding, glasses.
Yep.
They're just extremely loud and crass.
Yeah.
And these are the people that, like, you know, if you're at a sporting event and, you know, their little brother, because they're obviously still living at home, but like these are the people that are like sport nerd, like incels.
Yep.
That get stuck at home, and they're just loud and obnoxious. And it's like I feel like I kind of see, because like I've seen a lot of these people around. You know, like this is like almost a stereotype that it's like, oh man, these people actually, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that's all I can view when I see these accounts with just a little sports, you know, it's just that guy behind the screen. If it's not just a sock puppet bot account, it's that guy. It's that guy.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, man. As far as social norms go, they're not there. You know, they're the types that would call homeschool kids weird. And it's like, man, if weird is not what you are, then I'm aiming for that.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of distractions modern day. Well, I mean, we've talked about it. You know, we talked about technology and everything. I think there's so many distractions nowadays that it's so easy. The attention spans in general of Americans have gone down, especially with the younger generations being so
What'd you say?
in tune. Attention spans?
What?
What?
What were we talking about, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
What were you
Wait.
saying?
A squirrel? Oh, yeah. But I think in general, I think that kind of stuff plays a big role. All these distractions, it makes it that much easier for people to just kind of do things behind the scenes, and nobody cares about it because they've got their entertainment. They live they go through their day, go to their job, come home, relax, watch this, watch football.
Well, the CIA, I mean, going off of that, the CIA literally released the documents that they did a military coup and killed the United president, and no one batted an eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. All because the game was on, you know? I mean,
or like you can't go see the game unless you get this shot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know?
I know there were some. Were there a lot of stadiums out there that were saying?
It was like all of them.
Was it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure that there's like NFL wide.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, not one bit.
I mean, I'm vaccinated. Aren't you guys?
Oh,
I'm totally vaccinated. You guys.
Yes. Yep.
That's right.
That's
Tried and true.
I forgot. Yeah. I'm on my 7th booster shot now.
I haven't been sick in 30 years.
Yeah. There you go. So.
Actually, I haven't been sick in a long time.
Oh.
I'd like to knock on wood here, but it's been oddly a long time since I got COVID.
I got since you got COVID?
Yeah.
Specifically?
Like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I haven't gotten sick again.
Same. I only had COVID the once. Thank God for that 5th booster shot. That's what did it for me.
You're only the 5th? Oh, you mean the 5th saved you then, because you're obviously on your 9th now,
yes,
right?
Right.
Yeah, we're all caught up.
Yeah.
I think my arm's like about to fall off, but I think we're good.
Well,
doctor said it's nothing to worry about, little soreness.
There you go.
They'll mark it down as a COVID death.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's all forget that, after the first dose of vaccine, if it didn't kill you,
right,
you had to get another dose.
Yep.
And if that didn't kill you within 2 weeks,
yeah,
well, then you're good to go. You're fully vaccinated.
Yep.
But if you died after the first shot, you were marked down as a COVID death.
COVID death, yep.
That's pretty messed up.
Crazy. Do you think anything like that will happen in the near future? Like another
disease X?
Yeah, virus or whatever?
They're going for disease X right now, the World Economic Forum is.
Yeah.
I don't know what disease X is. I haven't looked into it beyond that they're doing an emergency meeting around disease X.
It's the Spanish flu.
Well, wasn't that COVID though?
Well, it is again.
Yeah. Oh, it's again. Again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Again.
Oh, wide
there
open.
It
Look
is.
at that.
Oh, that was a good play.
So, yeah, I mean, wouldn't you think, I don't know, I'm just thinking about this now. I guess I really haven't thought about it, but do you think that since we had a pandemic for 2-3 years, where all of these things happened, do you think that we would come at it? Do you think the government would come at it stronger right out of the gate? Or do you think that they'd wait a little while to try to ease suspicion? I don't know. I guess,
man. I think
you think they'd come out
it
strong?
came so close to ending that the reason why it's so obviously strange that everything's going on and why everything's gotten so extreme. If you imagine like we're frogs boiling in a pot of water, it feels like the temperature's been turned way up recently. Yeah. It's because they're thrashing about and trying to reclaim that liberal New World Order power that they don't have anymore.
Yeah.
The world said enough. Trump was trying to end it. The world cooperated, but then, you know, he wasn't good for relations with, you know, countries like China and everybody else. So they got their puppet back in there. And I'm sure that was with the help of some foreign countries.
Oh, yeah.
You know, some of that mail-in ballot stuff, transporting ballots across state lines and shutting down the voting. Obviously, everything about that was weird. And the people that don't want to admit it, you're just lying to yourself at this point. Because it's like, man, that stuff was crazy weird. And I wasn't a big Trump fan or anything, you know. It was the first president I ever voted for. And it was only the second term because he actually did what he said he was going to do. And his second term sounded great. He said some really good stuff that he was going to try to get done. And we were marching towards a 4-day work week. I mean, everything was going great. And it's like everything got turned way upside down and then shaken since COVID and then Biden. Because I can tell you one thing, that vaccine mandation thing would have never happened if Trump got reelected.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that, man.
I don't know. I mean, he was definitely pushing towards
He
that
was
goal
never
anyway.
going to mandate the vaccine, dude.
I don't know about that.
No shot.
He said
he said you
that
should
he
get
got
it
it,
if you want it. He's said it, dude. Like, there's no shot he would have mandated it. That was a Biden ploy, and I knew that as soon as Biden got elected. I was like, they're going to try to force this down everyone's throats, and they did. I mean, it was such an easy image to see. Trump wasn't like that, man. The dude loves America. I know he comes off as a crazy person, but I don't think he's about breaking people's rights.
Except for when it comes to gun control.
What, the bump stock ban?
One of many parts, yes.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, here's my thing about Trump, right? I think people were fed up. When Trump got in, people were fed up with the usual people, the smiling, 50-year-old, 60-year-old guy kissing babies, not knowing exactly what they're doing all the time.
The guy that just says the line, the political line.
Exactly. And
well,
so,
I don't, I'm not going to give you a direct answer, but I'm going to round about it and make you feel good and make everyone clap for me at the end of me saying this.
Yep. And I think Trump was a person, the reason he got such a big following is because he went up, he attacked. I remember one of the first things that I was like, oh crap, this guy's for real, is when he was debating Hillary and they asked him about his taxes, and he says, well, yeah, of course, because the tax code says that I can do this. Yeah. And he says Hillary's not going to change it because that would mean that all of her donors that are funding her campaign, she's not going to change it because they're paying her and they're using the same advantages as I am. So she'll never change the tax code.
Right.
It's like stuff like that. He was calling people out that everybody kind of knew was happening, but he called it out for what it was. And I think that's why he got such a big following. Did his mouth get him in trouble? Absolutely. Is that one of the biggest reasons I didn't like Trump? Absolutely. That being said,
made you feel bad?
No. He didn't make me feel bad. What I mean by that is, I don't know. See, maybe that's me having the preconceived notion that a president should be that person that just kind of says the right thing all the time. But at the same time, he's kind of a loudmouth, you know.
Yeah,
And
that's why I didn't personally like him, dude. Like
Right.
2016, The Apprentice, all that. I thought I can't say the words, man. I did not like him. I hated him, but
Yep.
I really hated Hillary. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, we're in a weird situation here this year, so I didn't vote.
Yep.
It's because I didn't like either candidate.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, here the thing is when you deliver on exactly what you said you were going to do, when you deliver on it, I don't know, that gives me a little more
Well,
confidence.
Now
that,
I'm going to vote for you
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, well, you proved me wrong. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's why he got such a big following. I think that there are a lot of people that, you know, like the Trumpers for life that get really vocal and really crazy about it, you know,
Yeah.
to the point of being just completely illogical. These are the people that it wouldn't matter what Trump did, they'd still side with him, even if it was against everything that they believed in. You know, we all know someone like that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I think that's why he got such a following, and I think that's why we saw him, even though he was a loudmouth. I think that's why he got so many votes.
I think he was just the voice for the middle class America, the lower middle class America that's been just getting squeezed and squeezed, man. You know?
That is true.
Because it's such a struggle, and the largest struggle isn't in the 6-figure bracket. The largest struggle is in that you'll get pumping out of that 30K bracket.
Yeah.
You know, some people maybe they get a family and they get stuck in that bracket, so they're on welfare, and then you fight to get out of that bracket, and it's like, all right, now we're making a little bit more money, but now my welfare benefits are slashed completely because of that money, so it's kind of a wash.
Oh my god.
Right.
You know, and then you get to that stage where it's like, well, now we're making enough to kind of live that comfortable life again. So it's like, cool, we went through some hard times. It's kind of a dip, like a roller coaster. But that's the working class. The majority of taxpayers, is right there.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people, I feel like, because me personally, it's like, I wish if instead of just blindly paying taxes, I could be like, all right, well, if you're going to take money from me, I get to elect where it goes.
Yeah.
Something like some system like that.
Yep. That's one of the biggest things, honestly. It's one of the biggest reasons why people don't want to pay taxes, because it rarely ever goes to what you want it to. You know?
Right now it's going to the legal invaders that are taking over our country, man.
Yeah, that's exactly
Coming in
it.
hot.
Well, that's why I also don't believe we even need a large government.
We don't at all.
Right.
'Cause,
I would absolutely
the
agree
large
with that.
government doesn't go do your roads. They contract it out. You can just get some, as long as they get paid, some contractor will go and clear your roads.
I'm 100% for, because I don't believe in any. I don't think we should be taking any federal tax out of us, from us.
Oh, it was intercepted.
And
He was down.
I don't think we should get taxed federally at all. I think any taxes at all should be a local system. It should be your local jurisdiction that you're, whatever.
Yeah, and you vote on where that tax money goes.
Exactly. You can be a lot more involved in that money then, because you can go to the meetings and do the votes and bring up, hey, I'd like it to go here, there. But you have a lot more voice. We have zero voice at a federal level, but they're taking tons of money. We're sieving money, and that's the thing that I was kind of getting at with the bracket system, because there's like a weird system where it's like, once you get above that 50K mark, like, life gets really strange, because now all of a sudden you're getting taxed out out the wazoo, and it's like, what is this? Like, how does it almost feel like I would be better off making that than making like 30K more?
Yeah,
because of that tax bracket, it pushes you in that weird spot.
Yep.
I'll give you a number for this year. I got taxed 25%.
Yeah. See,
that's crazy. And that's just taxes, right? Well, how much of that's the FICA or Social Security stuff that you're never going to benefit from?
Yeah,
that's being taken out, because I'm pretty sure that's almost more than the taxes.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy to think about the amount of money that we actually pay into the federal government, and we see no benefits from it.
No,
none, except to support their agendas on whatever they're pushing for the day. Like this whole immigration thing. I don't know, man. It gets me pretty hot.
I get it, man.
Because it's
heat away, dude.
Well,
let's go.
Honestly,
it's your money in there.
That's exactly
it's
it.
my money, and I want it now.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
It's your money and they want it now.
Yeah. Well, when you think about when people think about the American dream, you know, you should be able to make your wealth, you know, as long as you work hard, you're a decent person, you'll make your wealth, you'll go about your day and you'll be happy at the end of life. Problem is, when you go look at your paycheck and you see all these taxes and you see no benefit from it, it's like, well, why can't I just have that money instead?
Yeah.
You know, why can't I have my own money?
Well, they're under the philosophy that they can do better good with that money.
Right.
Than you could ever dream of doing.
Yeah. Again, another reason why we should have a smaller government.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be so nice? Gosh, that'd be so
Well,
nice.
here's the thing.
The
You could
dream.
even okay. So you know, you have your neighborhood. So you live in kind of a not cul-de-sac, a subdivision.
Yeah.
Is your subdivision
What are
responsible?
you doing over there? My God.
He's doing something with the mic.
Trying to get this mic to freaking tighten up. Hold on. I got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, he muted it. He muted you for a minute.
Are you ready? Have you figured it
Yeah,
out?
he's got it.
All right.
There he is.
So, yeah, no.
Are you guys responsible for paving your own
The-
roads and everything within the subdivision?
It's we've got a weird situation going on with the builder right now. But like our whole situation is with at a county level.
Okay.
So I mean, like the county kind of covers all that. We don't have any sort of like homeowners deal or anything like that.
Yeah. That's another thing. Well, homeowners associations, good Lord. I have not.
Very thankful we don't.
Yeah. I don't own a house yet. But you know, I'll go through the housing apps or the, you know, house buying apps, Zillow or Realtor, and I see that there's an HOA.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope. I don't care if it's the best price in the world. Because that's another thing. You're talking about 2-3 people on a committee that decide what you can or can't do around your house. You know,
Yeah.
we did cable
I'm not cool with that.
Yeah, we did cable for years, and the only reason that some of these subdivisions had cable at all was because they couldn't put satellite dishes up on their roof. You know, the homeowners association wouldn't allow it.
To be fair, if I ever had rental properties, I would never allow the person renting to put a satellite
Oh,
dish in
fair
there
enough.
either.
Right. But the idea behind it was that it was just an eyesore. You know, it's like,
I'm all about the not having a leaky roof or wherever they
Right.
punch that thing in.
and sure, but at the same time, you also acknowledge that, you know, if you own your own home, you should be able to do what you want with it.
Yeah, if you want to punch a hole through the ceiling, go ahead.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to advise you to. That would suck. But at the same time, if you own your own home, you should be able to do what you want with it. I hate the homeowners associations
Yeah.
that do that stuff.
I hate the permitting process too. As a matter of fact,
I wouldn't know anything
same
about it.
concept. Well, I don't know anything about it either. But
Oh,
you know,
you're
the
talking
whole,
like a building permit?
yeah. I'm
and stuff?
talking like if you want to add a room to your house, you have to go and like
Yeah.
file a permit. It's like what?
Yeah. Why?
Go, get out.
Why?
All I have to do is laugh at you, sir. Get out
I
of
would
my
actually,
face,
you know
clown.
what? You know what? I would actually,
Permit.
I'm going to actually look into if they have a legitimate reason as to why they have a building permit.
It's probably because idiots like blew up homes doing weird projects to them. But you know what, man? Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, I guess.
If you're going
I
to
mean,
do some weird gas modification by yourself and you have no idea how to do it,
Well,
yeah,
well, you know, there's limitations, man. If you don't know your limitations, that's kind of on you.
right.
It's up to you to know that, not me.
Okay. So main reasons for getting permits. These are specifically building permits.
Because Joe Bob done did something wrong there, and then someone done fell through the stairs and got a lawsuit.
First reason is helps protect property value.
Oh,
Your home or business is an investment. If your construction project does not comply with the codes adopted by your,
Comply.
yeah, exactly.
well, think about it. Like if I get it, but if you
Joe.
actually own the house,
yeah.
you should be fine. But if you're still paying it off, it's not your house.
Oh.
Mm,
Because
yeah.
technically the bank owns it is what you're getting at
Yeah.
there? Technicality?
And they want to protect their investment. So I get that aspect of it, but at the same time,
Yeah, but I mean the bank that technically at that point owns, you know, you're not you don't apply for a building permit with the bank. You apply for it at the city. You know, so I think what it is, property value. Okay, I guess I can understand the property value aspect of it, because think about what's think about your neighborhood, Kyle.
Yeah.
Let's say your neighbor decides to build a deck off the back or off the front of their house. Let's say.
Yeah.
And they build it really bad. I mean, it looks terrible, right? Well, what's going to happen when you go to sell your house and they see this terrible looking deck and, a tarp and all this? I
might be the wrong person to ask that, because I don't know if I care.
Arguably, that person should mind their own business.
Yeah, but
like
what I'm saying,
it's like, man, I might tell my neighbor, like, hey, dude,
build me one.
no, I'll be like, do you want to redo that, and I'll help. Like, I'll offer to help.
But realistically, your property value when you go to sell your house,
because I get where you're coming from, but who am I to say?
No, I get it.
But then right now you're actually advocating for an HOA right there, Zach.
Yeah.
Because it's an HOA's duty.
Maybe an HOA is your fit.
No.
Well, you say no.
Well, you're talking about
currently
you're the HOA guy looking at the house. No, you can't do that. It looks ugly. You're ruining my value.
You're gonna ruin my value, dude.
Yeah, I guess.
No, we got you, Zach. No,
we know exactly.
No, we know what you're at.
You can backpedal all you want now, but
okay. No,
the truth is out.
Let me see you on a committee somewhere 5 years from now.
Yeah, I see it. I get it. Honestly, what do you? Well, okay. The other reason that you would have to buy a permit is because you need to make sure that it's up to code. Do you think that there needs to be a building code enforced? That's just a general question. I
believe that there should be a building force enforced. However, should it be the government enforcing it? That's a completely different question.
No, I think it's the local jurisdiction should have some sort of say, but I feel like not really, like only in like commercial settings, or if you have a circumstance where the residential setting's mixed into the commercial setting, where you got like apartments upstairs and you got businesses down. But like in a residential setting, I think the only time that any sort of enforcement of code should be in play is before the house can be sold, after the builders are like officially like handing it over, like, all right, we're done.
Right.
Then it needs to have some sort of inspection, because you can't just at a certain point there's a statute of limitations, I feel, on those enforcement, and you got to get them right then and there. So it's like, all right, we're handing it over within a week or two. It gets inspected by a guy. They go through the code of and the code should just be commonsensical standards, logistical things, logical things. I mean, it shouldn't be anything out of the order. It shouldn't be any crazy bureaucratic nonsense where it's like, we got to wait forms and file this and wait for that. And it should be a very simple, we say we're good for this inspection. They come out, inspect it. Yep, you are good. No, you aren't good. This is what needs to be fixed. They fix them, come back out. Simple process like that.
Okay. So you're saying the code enforcement should happen if you try to sell your home to someone else. Outside of that,
I'm saying only when the house is built originally.
Okay.
I think that's the only time, because when you sell a house, you have an inspector. That's part of the process already when you're buying and selling a home.
Right.
Not necessarily. You can waive that.
You can. It's a really dumb thing to do. I mean, I think it's a dumb thing to do, but you can. There's some loans though, I think you have to. There's some stipulation. Like a lot of the times, if you waive it, then you won't get as good of a deal on your loan itself.
Yeah.
Like the loan company might be like, what do you mean you're waiving it? No, we're not gonna.
Well, so you do agree that there should be building codes.
Yeah, I would agree that there's some sort of codes.
I would agree.
But like the whole having to go in and it's like, I want to modify my deck after I've already bought my house, and then having to go file a permit, waiting for that to get approved, because someone could be like, no. It's like, well, okay, I'm going to do it anyways.
How about this then? In order to get a building permit and to meet with codes, something like a deck, I don't think you shouldn't need a building permit for it. That's just a way.
Well, no. So if you already have an existing deck and you're like rebuilding the same deck, no. You don't need any sort of permit. It's if you're changing or modifying anything.
Yeah. But
if you're adding a room, removing a room,
Yeah, I would say where I would agree with a building permit having to be bought and purchased is when you do something that is critical to the structure of the building. You know what I mean?
I don't even necessarily believe just critically structural, but electricity. Anything electrical based should be.
Yeah, because that does factor into the welfare of your of the.
Yeah, well, guess what?
Citizens.
You use a 10 gauge instead of a 14 gauge. Guess what? You burn your house down.
Well, you burn your house down and put others at risk, others' homes at risk too.
Yeah.
And in turn, their lives, obviously.
But that's kind of one of those things of knowing your limitations. If someone just fancies themselves an electrician overnight, and they just go to the store and buy whatever wire. They buy stereo wire and go wire up their house.
Yeah, but what's also to say that I hired an actual contractor, and it's just not the right contractor for me to do.
Then what do you mean? Like if you hire a contractor and they go and run stereo wire in your house, I mean, you should only sue them, but arrest them.
That's what I'm getting at, though, is that's why there are permits involved.
Well,
that's when
fraud.
they have an inspector come by.
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah, I guess the permit. What I'm trying to say is, I guess I can understand the permit is because if we believe that there should be building codes, then we also have to make sure that the city knows that we are building something, so that way they can enforce the codes on those properties. So I guess I get it, but like I said, building a deck off the back of your house should not require you to go drop $200 for a piece of paper that you put up in your front window so the city can make sure you're compliant.
Yeah, man. To me, it's kind of akin to similar, I guess, to speeding tickets or not just speeding tickets, but like a ticket for getting. You get pulled over because taillight's out.
Oh, how did he catch
You didn't even know it was out,
Yeah.
Say it just went out. And then now you're getting hit with that whatever. I don't even know what that fine would be.
I don't know.
But you're getting hit with some money.
Yep.
And then, now you got to go buy and light bulbs on newer cars are not cheap.
No.
I mean, they're quite ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And when one goes, another one's probably going to go. So
you have to replace both of them.
You might as well get the 2-pack or 2 of them. And then it's like, so now you're out that money. But like some people are like out that ticket now and they're like, well, now I can't get the light bulbs.
Yeah.
So it's like, now I'm going to keep getting ticket. I don't know, man. I feel like it's just a fairness. It's just not fair.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it's definitely easy to see something like that, get someone into a cycle like that where it's like, okay, well, you're ticketing me, but now I can't afford, this or this to actually fix the issue that you're ticketing me for. And they just keep getting ticketed.
Yeah, and it's like I'm already doing a home repair or something, that I required this permit to tell you guys that I need to do it, but like the fact that you're just shivving money out of me for what?
Yeah.
To file a paper?
Right.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's to do something in my own house. And to Joey's point, it's like, yeah, if I fancy myself an electrician, I burn my family down, dude. I mean, that's kind of on me. At that point, you can't fix those people. You can't do anything for those people. They will always exist.
Yep.
I mean, Trump said hydroxychloroquine is a good drug, and a bunch of people started drinking fish pond koi fish cleaner.
Yep. Yep.
It's just ridiculous, man. Like, you can't fix those people, dude. Like, I understand, well, you got to be more careful in what you say. But it's like, really, though? Like, do you?
Yeah.
Or should people just be more encouraged to do their own
That's where as a society, we aren't held accountable to our own actions,
Yeah.
Everyone else is accountable for our actions. And that's...
Yeah, and then we've talked about veteran culture enough, but, like, the whole Army experience, that's a big...
Yep.
big driver of what it teaches you to take accountability. So it's like when you see other people that can't or don't or have never taken any accountability in their lives, it's nuts to see it, man. It's quite an unreal.
It's actually, yeah, and it's funny that you say that because I'm just putting 2 and 2 together now. Mm-hmm. But after the major world conflicts, I would say that's probably why the country was running better, was because we had such a large population of military veterans. Mm-hmm. Because there was a huge sense of accountability, because when those soldiers go off, whether they were drafted or whatever, when they went off, they learned that accountability to a point
Yeah.
where it was ingrained in them, and then they ingrained that into their kids, and so that went on for a generation, and that's that's what bred a better country in that time. And so I think, I definitely think that those two are correlated, and I've never stepped foot in a military setting, but I wish more people would learn that kind of accountability.
Yeah.
How many times have we have to start a counter every time we use that word
Accountability.
on the podcast? Yeah.
Accountability with beer.
Yeah.
With Zach and Kyle.
Ooh. No, it's too late.
Name
It's too
change.
late for a name change. No.
Hey, Joe. Why don't you fire up the Gmail, buddy? We got some changes to make.
No,
It's a
too late
terrible
now.
name anyway.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Yep. But well, any other things that we can try to predict here based off of what do you think about the Israel Hamas situation?
Oh, I think that's World War III,
Yeah.
buddy. I mean,
Yep.
kind of, dude. I was just earlier on we were talking the White House, the patches. They're openly wearing their uniforms over here now. They're here now. So I feel like they're spreading out. I feel like Israel's been bombing indiscriminately Gaza and destroying lots of things. I feel like they've been going around and doing plots and assassinating some of the leadership or family of the leadership. These are things at least I've read. Things I would also come to believe that they're doing.
Sure. Well, it wouldn't be surprising.
No, they
at
also
all.
said they were going to do it.
Right.
So, I believe that they're doing these things. I'm not Israel's biggest fan. I'm not Palestine's fan at all. I think it's just an unnecessary conflict that Israel probably is sick of dealing with, and they're probably happy to export it to Europe and the United States.
Yeah.
I feel like
could
that's
see
kind of
that.
their major plan, that what they've been doing for a long time now with the mass migration into Europe. And I feel like if Hillary would have gotten in instead of Trump, we would have been seeing what we're seeing now then. And I feel like everything that happened with the Biden presidency would have happened then in 2016, 2017, I guess.
Right.
I don't know if COVID would have happened. I feel more and more that it was just a ploy to get Trump unelected. Kind of like a plan of what they could do, because it's come out.
Yeah,
I mean, Fauci, it's been funded by our scientists.
Yeah. Well,
So-
the fallout that ensued after Trump, well, right at the end of, right before the election. I mean, I don't know. You'd have to say that it's at least a coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
It's something. You
Yeah.
could call it something.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I kind of think that I think that that's World War III. I think it's going to be pretty much a lot of, an enhanced war on terror, if you will. I think it's going to be maybe just a couple coordinated attacks at once, and maybe that triggers the big one, where all of a sudden Europe and the U.S. are on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know. It allows the deep state to do their crackdown deal. Maybe they use it to crack down and just go after everybody that was a registered Republican, and or maybe it goes after the Christians. I honestly feel like the Christians are due their genocide, and I feel like this is coming more because it's never been more acceptable to make fun of Christianity.
Yeah, that's true.
Define the deep state for those of whom that don't know.
The deep state, for those of who don't know, is actually a well documented thing. It's just the bureaucracy of unelected people in our government. It's all these different groups, organizations, committees, and all these divisions of things that have existed: FBI, CIA, different government, the ODNI, all these weird ones. But it's all these basically stacked people that have just their career. Some of them will go from being a politician and then they get hired into this, or they get, essentially hired into this. It's just the bureaucracy of our government, man. The deep state can also kind of go into, you talking about the intel agencies running things, the CIA and FBI actually having that stranglehold. With them coming out and literally saying that they killed JFK. Ron Paul said the coup on this nation happened when they did that. It can be tracked back to then. We were warned about the industrial military complex. So that's just a sect of bureaucracy. There's a whole media apparatus. The CIA, they came down and ruled that they couldn't mess with all these publications, and then all the Atlantic and a couple other ones started doing a bunch of mass layoffs. So you kind of see these things coincide. And then there's even a great Time article that came with our election that talks about their shadow campaign to take the election from Donald. Well, it was like to save democracy or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But it was the shadow campaign, man, and it's all intel agencies and bureaucracies, and I mean they're caught on freaking Teams and WebEx. It's just stupid webcam programs talking about it. It's nuts.
Also, to bring up, you talk about Christians or Christianity. Did you see about the Jews in New York?
You mean the tunnels?
Yeah, the Jew tunnels.
What a wild thing. Did you see that, Zach?
I've not heard of such things. Should I just Google Jew tunnels?
Yes, in New York, you'll find it.
So they're like crawling out of
videos.
storm grates and like fighting with the police when they were, I guess, evicting them of their tunnels. But I'm curious. So it's like on one hand of the coin, what are these tunnels? Are they?
Well, it was they were going to mosque during COVID.
That's what I'm saying. Did they build
mosque,
these like straight up like Holocaust type shit, where they were like?
Yes, they built those tunnels.
They built those tunnels so that they would have somewhere to worship, because there's places of worship were shut down during COVID.
There's a dude that posted this multiple times on
oh my God!
on
Yes,
his
bring this
on
up.
his Twitter.
Yeah, I love it. He's like, see, I'm not crazy.
Well, his first tweet was like, "I'm hearing people under my house, and I don't have a basement. What's going on? I'm just hearing people. I'm hearing people." And people are like, "No, you're crazy, dude. Get out of here. You're hearing things. You're probably hearing the Italians that got hung from whenever, right?" And then later on, they're like, "Oh, I'm hearing it again. I'm hearing it again." And then now, just recently, see,
Wow.
and yeah, there was a tunnel right underneath this house.
Yep.
Yeah, I see. I'm reading it as we're talking about this. But it's not telling me why.
Just for worship.
Yeah, but it says, so this is, I don't know, this is from BBC, so take it for what you will. But
Well, if you remember, in New York at COVID times, no one could do a literal thing.
yeah,
So, in order for them to continue to practice their faith, they went underground to do so.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and meanwhile, this guy who everyone deemed was a crazy person saying like, "There's Jews under my house, and I live on the first floor, and our building doesn't have a basement, but I hear Yiddish being spoken underneath my house."
Jeez.
And he's posting this years ago, and it's like Joey's saying, man, it's just, when I saw that, I laughed for so long, because I'm like, wow, what vindication for this guy, Like everyone
Right.
thought he was nuts. Like
Yeah.
he's literally posting stuff. It seemed like a schizophrenic, anti-Semite. "There's Jews under my house.
Yeah, right.
They're
right,
planning
right.
stuff. They're digging some kind of tunnel. I can hear them." Like it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, how wild is that?
That's nuts.
You're at an
In the
hour.
United States of America, man, we have something like that. That's crazy to me. It's sad
Yeah,
to me more
yeah.
than anything.
Now that you say that, yeah, that is an interesting, because America is supposed to be land of the free. You're free to practice whatever you want, yet we have people having to build tunnels and stuff like in other countries to hide that they're worshiping.
Yep, and all these people that just freedom from church and state, and they just, oh my God, they preach it every single chance they get, and it's like these are the most secular people ever, and
Right.
it's like, dude, you've turned secularism into a religion. Like you can't practice any other religion but ours, and it's secularism.
Right.
That's what they've turned this into.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's just like it's nuts, man.
Yep.
Because they've warped it into this thing, because it's supposed to be like a neutrality thing, but it's like they've literally made it into a cult, which it's withstood the test of time, so it's become a religion at this point.
Yep.
The new American religion.
Yeah. It's weird because, yeah, like I said, again, we're supposed to be a country that embraces, all these different cultures and religions and stuff, yet there's so many people that are just telling people, no, you can't practice any kind of religion.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
just,
it's harmful to us for you to practice your religion.
Yeah.
So you can't.
that
It's like, well, who are you?
well, yeah,
Why does life have to be?
And look,
why do we have to cater to you?
and me here, look, I'm
Zach,
a
why do we
lifetime
have to cater life to
Christian.
you?
Well, it's like me. I'm a lifetime Christian. Do I agree? Do I agree with someone that is Muslim? No, I don't. But I believe that they have the right to worship if they want to. You know, do I think that they're right in what they think? No, that doesn't matter though.
Yeah.
It's just so weird to me that you're absolutely right. It has become the new religion in America where no one can practice religion. You know, it's not right to don't tread on me practicing your religion. That's almost what it's become.
Yeah.
People think that just because people are worshiping in different spaces, they think that they're physically or that they're personally being attacked. It's just
Right.
It's so nuts.
Have you seen V for Vendetta?
Yeah.
So I recently watched it. I'm gonna kind of play this scene up to the microphone. Hopefully it picks up.
Hey, whoa, is this copyrighted?
Well, yeah, obviously it's a movie scene, but I'm just talking about it. Can you hear that at all?
Not really.
They said of goodwill.
You hear that?
You want to know what
All
I
right.
think?
So he's just talking about.
So I will assume you do.
This is like the intro
Time we let the colonists know.
to the movie,
I think it's payback
and he's just talking about obviously the Boston Tea Party
for us a few hundred years ago.
deal here, which is
You missed.
nonsense. But real fast here, it gets into something good. Hold on, I'm gonna take it off here because I'm gonna let it get going. But like, I was watching this the other day, and this comes up. I'm just like, dude, listen,
Had everything.
Listen.
Absolutely everything.
talking about America.
20 years later is what? The world's biggest leper colony. Why? Godlessness. Let me say that again. Godlessness.
He ain't wrong, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't the plague they
Yeah.
created.
The plague
It was
they created.
judgment. No
The
one is
war
making
they started.
Yeah.
I'm just, man, I was watching, I was like, wait a minute, man. Like, oh, we're marching towards dystopia.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we can't avoid it. Hopefully we can, though. I want to be as optimistic as possible in my prediction that I hope Trump wins, fires a bunch of people, we fix America, everything goes good. We get a Vivek 2028. He doesn't turn out to be a swamp. You know, everybody's good.
What would you think of Vivek being VP?
No, I would love that.
Yeah. I think I would like that.
I would
too.
love to see him in the administration. If Trump gets elected, I need to see Vivek in the administration.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If Vivek 2028 means he's in the administration, I
Yeah.
feel, you know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see all the lead up to this election this year.
I think it's
really-
going to get hot, man. I think it's
It
going to
will.
get really crazy.
It will. Actually, honestly, oh man. How out there of an idea is it that this war spurs up here in the next month or so to the point where martial law is called and they get to keep their puppet?
Well, yeah. That would be the play. That's been my fear, is that they're trying to get something to happen here so that they can do that play. Because, yeah, you enact martial law. We can't have an election, or we can, but it's all mail-in ballot, which then whoever they want to win wins that.
Yep.
Because the mail-in ballot, there's no security to mail-in ballots. Zero. There's 0% security to a mail-in ballot.
Right.
You cannot convince me otherwise. So, with that said, yeah, man, that could be a play. That would be ridiculous. And I think the only way to get out of that would be people would need to stop it as soon as it happens. Otherwise, there's no voting out of that.
Right.
And then once you let them already have that ground, they're going to fortify that ground. And the deep state is very, very, very powerful. And they have a lot of tools at their disposal for surveillance and spying and doing the gulag evil stuff. They could make the Nazis look like kids, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like they'd make like the Nazis look like they're kids with playthings because of the technology that's caught up to the, you know, potential for just an insane dictatorship, basically.
Yeah, I can definitely, I could definitely see something like that happening. I mean, You know, it's not safe to leave your house. You know, all mail-in ballots. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's another virus or some sort of, you know, government or military entity that they've spotted inside of the U.S. or whatever. You know, I don't know, man. It's just what sucks though, honestly, about a lot of this is, you know, we're talking about all this, and it's so sinister. It's making me feel like almost depressed.
Oh yeah, man, it's highly depressing.
It's crazy because what's really sad about it is people don't have trust in their people can't trust that the United States is what it should be. And
Yeah,
I'm not
man.
saying
Well-
I'm not saying that we should have a blind trust in the government by any means.
Let's just say people have already left the country.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is people are leaving in droves. You know, it's just so sad. It's so sad to see that especially when we were younger. I mean, you could argue that we were kind of in that portion of losing that sense of being American, but at
Yeah.
the same time, we were still saying the pledge every morning.
Well, we had 9/11 that happened to us pretty young. So.
Yeah.
But I think the almost an opposite effect happened, and a lot of us started looking into more once that happened. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because like the Zeitgeist stuff came out around 2008, and a lot of that is communist propaganda, but it's like the initial, like what they're telling you, you know, there's truth to everything, right? You know, they use
Yeah,
the truth
there's-
and then they try to manipulate you to go into communism, but it's like if you just kind of like listen to that first half, and it's like
Right.
ignore the communism stuff. Kind of like how we like a lot of rock bands that are all devil wah wah wah, but we're not
Right.
going to be, oh, let's go, you know,
Right.
go be Satanists now because we like this band,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I wish that America had good values, but unfortunately, that just
You
doesn't.
do, man. They just need to be resurrected and kind
Yeah.
of resuscitated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's the optimistic path. That's what Trump kind of hopefully represents and is trying to do. My biggest fear on another side of that optimistic trend is you kind of have the power struggle left, right, and the right pendulum swinging back too hard.
Yeah.
Because that could look like authoritarianism through a false Puritan religious quasi weird
Right.
religious authoritarianism dictatorship as well. And it's like I'm just anti-authoritarian. Both sides of the fence. I've always been more of a center person, but more center right. And it's just like one thing I'm not is authoritarian. The only way the only place I am is at home. Beyond that, dude. Nah, man. It's just no way to be.
Yeah.
It's not a good governance. It's good for just very small governance,
Yeah,
small
and-
groups. If you're
well,
leading a group,
Right.
you know,
Right.
Oregon Trail,
Yeah.
that might
Yeah.
need some authority.
Right.
Military, you need some authority.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because so coming from a military, coming from, you were a veteran. How much of hating the authoritarian type thing, how much of that comes from your experience in the military?
I probably should have never joined the military, man, to be honest, because I've always been an anti-authoritarian person. So why I thought the military was a good place for me at all was just nonsense. And then another red flag was when I did that test and they're like, yeah, you can have, like, they were really impressed. And it's like, you can have like any job you want. And it's like, that test wasn't hard. The ASVAB.
Yeah.
It's like common sense.
Yeah.
A lot of common sense. And then they come back and say you can have any job you want, but I still pick a lowly, but a boots on the ground type position as being a Cav Scout. So
Yeah.
that's yeah, man. I don't know. It's like the Marine approach, like the infantry approach of you just have to be a dummy and you just have to listen to the guy. And it's like I've never been that way, so the play did not work for me too well. But that's just me, man.
I could get that.
You can view it from the outside and you can play the game all you want. But I don't know. Do you feel awkward when you role play something? Like you get that awkward feeling of like, man, I really don't want to do this. Like this is so pointless.
All right, let's do a role play right now about how you don't like to do role plays.
All right, yeah. So, all right, like imagine, okay, you're a technician and you're going to go to the door and you have to upsell the TV service, and the person only wants internet. Let's go. I'll be the customer. You be the technician. You know, that type of role-playing scenarios. And you're just kind of like, man.
Interception. All the way back, baby.
There we go.
Your mic.
Pick six.
So you know, all right. So you're getting what I'm.
Yeah, I get. I get that. Yeah, that is weird.
It's kind of like that, where it's like, yeah, I can choose to play the game, but it's feeling like that the entire time I'm doing it.
Right.
You know, everything where it's like, yo, what are you not going to go to parade wrestling? I just want to laugh at him. It's like, bro, you lace your boot up one lace at a time, like I do.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I get that
this
too.
hoo-ha crap out of here. Like I'm built more for the far from the flagpole type military, where it's like the bearded and, you know, more operator type.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't want to be in this uniform. In fact, when I'm in country, I want to be the farthest thing from a uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that was my mistake. But I joined for all weird reasons, man, to be honest. I was trying to fast track and just, it didn't work out. But coming from, having that anti-authoritarian edge, I don't think the military necessarily buffed or boosted or did anything really to it.
Okay.
You know, I definitely can understand
I think
the need for it.
I think almost every military personnel out there has become more anti-authoritarian.
Right. I was just going to say that.
Yeah. Because blind authority. Yeah, I would say double, because it's been with the pots and the frog thing that I was talking about. Like, it's been getting so crazy now that it's like the blind authority now is ridiculous, dude. Just take this. Just do this.
Yeah, I don't think it's
you're killing
necessarily
us.
blind authority. I think it's the military personnel sees how stupid the government is.
Yeah. Well, they are very worried about us.
Yeah.
We're all on a list, man.
Well, they probably want us all just
well, it'd probably be nice if we all kept killing ourselves. Like I feel like it was something that they injected us with or did something. Because it's crazy how many guys kill themselves, man.
Yeah, is that peanut butter shot?
Oh no, I got so many of those.
No, when was the last time you saw a guy who didn't get the penicillin shot kill themselves?
I don't know, man.
I don't know
what they're doing with their
I'm throwing a
butts,
stat out there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I do think that the government would. Well, I won't say the government. I think there's a lot of people out there that would greatly benefit from American society losing a lot of its members. You know what I mean? The numbers dwindle, which means it's less people that they have to try to manipulate or, you know, coax into doing this or, you know.
Yeah, it is crazy with everything they have done. I still feel like we have a very powerful army.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people out there that are starting to see through this stuff. You know, and that's the hope is, you know, we've talked about it in the past too, that there's a lot of kids coming up now that are kind of seeing past or seeing through all of the craziness that we're talking about.
Yeah, and that's where I'm saying where the pendulum swing.
Yeah,
because some of these kids are well, not a lot of them, but some of them are pretty extreme in what the rhetoric they're giving at. And look, man, I'm not about being gay. You do you, live and let live. That's where my life ends and lives by. But some of these people feel like they've been being infringed by, say, the gay community or the alphabet community for so long that they say some pretty horrible things, stuff that I wouldn't even agree with at all. You know, it's like, dude, man, that's not it.
Yep. Yeah, and that's another thing too. You know, we've been shown or told that we have to be so polarizing that there's no in between ground. Either you're what's the word that they always throw out when you don't like gay people?
Homophobe.
Homophobe. Yeah. You know,
that means you're afraid of them, though.
I mean, that's not what they're using it as. They'll use homophobe as
scared.
Yeah, no, that's not how they use it. They use it as a weapon. You know what I mean? You know, it's like it's just like a Nazi. A Nazi would hate Jews. You're a homophobe. You hate gay people. You know, that's how they use it.
I can tell you some words that they've made like have zero meaning anymore: racist, Nazi, and homophobe.
Yeah,
and anti-Semite. Did I say that one already?
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah. So, hating the Jews. That's perfect. I don't know if you guys want to start wrapping it up on that note.
No.
I mean, you're at 100 an hour 20 now.
Well,
okay.
let's wrap up with a little bit of Jew hate. Joe,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, I mean,
this should
yeah.
be good for ratings.
Good on Palestine. They're good. I love them. Pro Palestine. Palestine #1, right? That sounds about right.
No, negative, big negative.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you wanted me to do, right? You said you wanted me to go full
Oh
anti-Semite.
no! I thought that's what you wanted to do. I'm sorry. I was giving you the freedom, which you did actually take.
You took it.
Which I was not expecting. No, yeah, man, it's all weird. My predictions, I think I'm gonna put all my energy in the optimistic path.
Yeah.
You know, Trump's gonna get in there. They're not gonna be able to cheat enough to get, because people have support him so much. And then it just fixes the country, and hopefully all the loud people can just shut up when the economy fixes itself, and then they can just go about living their lives and going back to living and let live. Zach, you?
Well, honestly, regardless of these predictions that we're talking about right now, I think what more people need to do is more than sit back and watch and look what's happening and kind of speculate. It's the simplest concept. Just do the next right thing for yourself. Just do the next right thing.
What are you doing?
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, man.
I think that more people need to embrace that kind of thinking, because no one does anymore, and everyone looks at the bigger picture and then they feel discouraged. And best thing we can do to grow as a country is just do the next best thing for you and yours. And most of the time,
dude, I agree.
Most of the time, that's going to end you up way better than what society is trying to lead you to believe. Because at the end of the day, politics usually don't come into my household when I'm interacting with just my family.
Yeah.
And
We're friends, man. To be honest, like, I've had some good relationships with people that like aren't necessarily on the same political field as me.
Yeah.
This stuff doesn't need to come up and
Right.
ruin those relationships at all.
Exactly.
And I think us letting it is what drives division.
We need to be we need to be
them
able
win,
to talk about it in a healthier way, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the entire conversation that you have with
Speaking
somebody.
of not being the entire conversation, what are you drinking on tonight there, Zach?
I am drinking.
It's
I'm going
leftover
back
beer
to
night.
one. Yeah, it's leftover beer night. I'm drinking Newcastle. I went back to the Newcastle Brown Ale.
Okay.
It's
the
good
spot
stuff.
tonight?
Oh yeah, it's
Sipping on. Is that your first one?
yes. Yes, it is, because we tried some of the excellent coffee that Joey provided for us.
Indeed. The coffee is delicious. I still have to finish mine.
But Newcastle is kind of a perfect beer for tonight because it's extremely cold, and so I don't really want to drink a lot down.
I'm not
so
even
it's
looking
a good
forward to going outside at
yeah,
all.
same. But it's a good sipping beer. Newcastle's good. I
Well,
can't complain. What do you
Cheers
got?
to that, sir.
Yeah, what do you got over there?
So I'm drinking a nice 7 fluid ounce Coronita Extra. Yes, the Coronita 7 fluid ounce special here. Yes, 2 of them in 2 hands, and you still don't feel like a man, unfortunately. So no, it's just Corona, man.
Yep.
I've had to open like 3 of these at a time to have substantial porridge going, but it's delicious. I like Corona.
Yeah.
It's good. Good
Yeah,
beer.
it's pretty good.
They took the hit when the virus came out, but they held strong and they're still around.
Yeah.
So
It's
gotta give them credit.
And it's so silly how stupid some people are. It's like, oh, they named this virus after the beer. We can't drink the beer.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it wasn't named after the beer, but okay, you know. And then on top of that, all of the the racism that came out of the coronavirus towards Asians.
Yeah.
It's like what are you
Like,
what are you doing?
That's not how it works, Jack.
Yeah. But
Yeah, and then that one kind of went away once they realized that all that racism towards the Asians was being committed by black people.
yeah, well, a lot, just people in general. I mean, honestly, for whatever reason, there was a weird stigma that if your food was being made by a Chinese person, it automatically had coronavirus.
They were just going to breathe COVID into it.
Yeah, just weird.
Just saying, side note, the Asian community and the black community have been at ends for a very long time.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's been a thing forever.
Yeah.
Look at the Rodney King riots and the rooftop Koreans.
Yeah, it's a really
Great,
interesting story.
fascinating pictures.
Yeah, it's a really interesting story. Honestly, I mean, the first time I heard rooftop Koreans, I'm like, what the heck is that? I started looking into it, and I'm like, Holy crap!
Well, obviously Joey's a rooftop
All right,
Korean.
sorry, save that for next episode.
Yeah,
We'll talk about
We'll
Koreans
get on the
next
rooftop
episode.
Koreans next episode.
but yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Apologies about last Wednesday. We'll try to be better about relaying if we're not going to be recording, but the holidays just got the best of us, and
Yep.
that should be something that gets remedied
Yeah.
in the future.
Yep.
Especially once we start getting more social media running. I should be getting the Twitter running here,
Yeah.
and that will be.
I'll get some more stuff running. As of right now, we should give out our email address so that way,
Yeah,
that way people can message in and ask, let us know what they want us to talk about and stuff. So, let me make sure I've got it right. It is.
go for it, man.
It is. Hold on.
Doesn't even have it. I bet you I can pull it up before you, but
You think
I'm
so?
not sure if mine's right because we changed it so many times.
It is commonsenseandbeer@gmail.com.
Yep, all one word.
That all one word. Doesn't matter if you capitalize all of it. I know everyone wants to say, "Oh, it's all lowercase." Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, but yeah, we'll get more social medias, and once those
That's
are officially
pass
up, we'll come back and actually,
Yeah.
actually give you guys the what the handles are and whatever else, so you can
Yeah.
get the official ones. So
And feel free, even if we don't have those up yet, give us a shout on the email. If you want to send us a good topic discussion, or if you want to just comment. We'd prefer that you commented on Spotify so other people could see it. But if you want to leave us a personal comment on your thoughts on something, we're always happy to hear those.
absolutely.
So
Go for it.
on that
All right,
note,
so Cowboys are about to go for it,
yeah,
and we'll see what happens here.
yeah,
27-0.
27-0.
2 seconds left in the half,
Packers.
and
They got it.
Oh,
oh,
it's
they
fake,
got it.
yeah.
It was a fake.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
All right, well,
Good job. One
Packers-
touchdown. One
Pa-
touchdown for them.
Packers are going into the half. We're set. We're gonna be
Okay, everybody. We'll see you next time.
all right. Catch you all later.